കളിക്കുന്നില്ല കളിക്കുന്നില്ല സ്റ്റഡി സ്റ്റഡി പിന്നെ ഉം, ഉം, other technique. Advanced SQL injection involves a range of sophisticated methods that go beyond basic attacks. Here are few important advanced to be aware of. HTTP header. HTTP headers can carry user input which might be used in SQL queries on server side. If these inputs are not sanitized, it can lead to SQL injection. The technique involves manipulating HTTP headers like user agent, refer, or exforwarded for to inject SQL commands. The server might log these headers or use them in SQL queries. For example, a malicious user agent header would look like user agent or 1 is equal to 1. If the server includes the user agent header in the SQL query without sanitizing it, it can result in SQL injection. In this example, a web application logs the user agent header from HTTP request into table named logs in the database. The application provides an endpoint at the application provides endpoint at HTTP agent that display all the logged entries from the logs table when user visits a web page. Their browser sent a user agent header which identifies the Browser and operating system. This header is typically used for logging purpose or tailor content for specific browser. In our application, this user agent header is inserted into the logs table and then and can then be viewed through provided endpoint. Given the endpoint, an attacker might attempt to inject SQL code into the user agent header to exploit the SQL injection vulnerability. For instance, by setting the user agent header to malicious value such as user agent union select username password from user, an attacker attempts to inject SQL code that combines the result from the logs table with the sensitive data from the user table. Here are the server-side code that inserts the log. User agent server insert SQ insert into the logs user if query insert SQL uh, the user agent value is inserted into the logs using insert SQL statement. If the insertion is successful, a success message is displayed. An error message with the detail is shown if there is an error during insertion. New log inserted successfully. Generated SQL query. Select star from logs where user agent is equal to yes. Preparing a payload. Yes. Now we need to do this right. Preparing a payload. We will prepare and inject an SQL payload into the user agent header to demonstrate how SQL injection can be exploited through HTTP header. Our target payload will be union select username password from password. This payload is desired to close the existing string lateral. The initial single quote is used to close the select existing string literal in the SQL query. Inject a union select statement. Uh, the union select user password from part of the payload is used to retrieve username and password columns from the user table. Comment out the rest of the query, and the hash character is used to comment out the remainder of SQL query, ensuring that any subsequent SQL code is ignored. We need to send this payload as a part of user agent header in our HTTP request to inject this payload, which could be done using tools like Pubsec or curl, Seeker. We will use curl command line tool to send the HTTP request and a custom user agent header. Open a terminal and access your command line interface. Use the following command to send the request with the custom user agent. Let's see if it is recording. It is recording. Uh, they used curl. Did I not get the IP? Uh, so they are not going to the. They just did everything in this. We need to send this payload as a part of user agent header in our HTTP request to inject this payload, which could be done using tool like Pubsec or SQL. We will use the curl command line tool to send HTTP request with the custom user header. Open a terminal and access your command line interface. Use the following command to send. Uh, you will use H to change this user agent, and we will use this, and this will be our target URL. The server response will be displayed in the terminal. If the SQL injection is successful, you will see extracted data, username and password in the response. Exploiting stored procedure. Uh, Let us agree. It came. Yes, it is. Let's copy this. Sorry about that. I am very not jealous. Mm, it is putting up. Let's go with this. Stored procedures are routines stored in the database that can perform various operations such as inserting, updating, or querying data. While stored procedure can help improve performance and ensure consistency, they can also be vulnerable to SQL injection if not properly handled. Stored procedures. SQL queries to database, stored procedures, read, insert, update, delete. SQL query. Store procedures are a precompiled SQL statement that can be executed as a single unit. They are stored in the database and can be called by application to perform specific tasks. Store procedures can accept parameters which can make them flexible and powerful. However, if these parameters are not properly sanitized, they can produce SQL injection vulnerability. Consider a stored procedure designed to retrieve user data based on username. Create procedure as we get user data. Username as begin declare select star from user where username is equal to username. Oh. In this example, the stored procedure con- concat- concatenates the username parameter into a dynamic SQL query. This approach This approach is vulnerable to SQL injection because the input is not sanitized. XML and JSON injection. Application that press XML or JSON data to uh, use the pressed data in the SQL queries can be vulnerable to injection if they do not properly sanitize the input. XML and JSON injection involves injecting malicious data into XML or JSON structure that are then used in SQL query. This can occur if the application directly uses praised value in the SQL statement. If the application uses values directly as SQL query, select star from user where username is equal to I mean, it could result in the injection. What is the value of the flag field in the books table where the book ID 1? Wait a sec, let's open this. They are using curl, let's do the curl. What is the username? I do not get that. Uh, uh, I don't see it, man. What is the value of the flag field in the books table where book ID is equal to uh, where it is? Mm, uh, select star. Select star. Union select. Wait a sec, guys. I need something to work on. Hmm, union select. Hmm, union select. Let's do some simple SQL query. Uh, give me SQL query for this for SQL query to read read ah retrieve this. Mm, it will give an SQL query. Select flag from books where ID. Flag from books where ID is equal to 1. Let's see. Is that how it works? Paste. Let's delete something. Uh, mm, mm, right. Select flag. Okay, yes. Uh, flag. Let's see. Select books. What the hell? It is library, I think. Mm-hmm. Mm, just a sec, guys. How the hell am I supposed to? I need to see the reports. Uh, let's try that. Uh, oh, ho, ho, ho. Mhm. That's given a select. करना ही नहीं था. Let's see. Uh, Uh, what do I do not understand it. There is automation in SQL. SQL injection remain contracted to improper implementation of security and the complexity of it. Automating identification and exploiting these vulnerabilities can be challenging, but several tools and techniques have been developed to help streamline this process. Major issue during identifying SQL injection vulnerability involves several challenges similar to identifying any other server-side vulnerability. Here are the key issues. Dynamic nature of SQL queries. SQL queries can be dynamically constructed, making it difficult to detect injection points. Complex queries with multiple layers of logic can obscure potential vulnerabilities. A variety of injection point. SQL injection can occur in different parts of an application, including input fields, HTTP headers, and URL parameters. All identifying all the potential injection points requires thorough testing and a comprehensive understanding of the application. Use of security measures. Application may use prepared systems, uh, parameterized queries, and ORM frameworks which can prevent SQL injection. Automated tools must be able to differentiate between safe and unsafe queries construction. Context-specific detection. The context in which user inputs are used in SQL queries can vary widely. Tools must adapt to different contexts to accurately identify the vulnerabilities. Few important tools. Several renowned tools and projects have been developed within the security community to aid the automation of finding SQL injection vulnerability. Here are the few well-known tools and the GitHub repositories that provides functionalities for detecting and exploiting SQL queries. SQL Map. SQL Map is an open source tool that automates and processes the detecting and exploiting SQL injection vulnerability in the web application. It supports wide range of databases and provides extensive options for both identification and exploitation. You can learn more about the tool here. Let's see. Yeah, we did that. SQL Ninja. SQL Ninja is a tool specifically designed to SQL injection vulnerability in the web application that use Microsoft SQL Server as a backend database. It automates various stages of exploitation, including database fingerprinting and data exfiltration. JSQL, a Java library for focused detecting SQL injection vulnerability with the Java application. It supports various types of SQL injection attacks and provides a range of options for extracting data and taking control of the database. BPQSL is a blind SQL injection exploitation framework designed to be simple and highly effective for automated exploitation for blind SQL injection vulnerabilities. Blind SQL injection can be a pain to with the available tools. They work well, but when they don't, provide something custom. This time-consuming and tedious PBQSQL can help you address those issues. We try to write an tool in such a way that it would be very self-explanatory when setting up an attack in you. However, for the sake of thoroughness, we have included detailed readme that should provide you additional insight on the specifics of each configuration option. One thing to note is that every configuration option in the UI has description associated with it, so you to choose to fire up the reading this page, you should be able to accurate an attack. That was good. See. Uh, Automating the identification and exploiting of SQL injection vulnerabilities is crucial for maintaining web application security. Tools like MySQL, SQL Ninja, and PBQSQL provides powerful capability of detecting and exploiting this vulnerability. However, it's important to understand the limitation of automated tools and need for manual analysis and validation to ensure the comprehensive coverage. By integrating these tools into your security workflow and following best practice for input validation and query construction, you can effectively mitigate the risks, the SQL injection vulnerabilities. Let's try that. Let's try that. Uh, 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 Here's a GET request. For the GET request, let's see. Mm, DBS. Mm, Do you want to try URI injection in the target itself? Yes. How do you want to proceed? Mm, Continue. Uh, uh, this is a kind of all those parameters do not appear to be. uh, Wait a sec, let's take a photo. Where is that? Let's try that. Let's try that. Screenshot taken, right? Mm, mhm. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I now understand it. Lisa. First one. SQL injection is a renowned and pervasive vulnerability that has been a major concern in web application security for years. Penetration must pay special attention to this vulnerability during their assessment, as it requires a thorough understanding of various techniques to identify and exploit SQL injection points. Similarly, secure coders must prioritize safeguarding their applications by implementing robust web validation and adhering to secure code practice to prevent such attacks. A few of the best practices are mentioned below. Secure coders, parameterized queries and prepared statements. Use parameterized query and prepared statement to ensure all the user's inputs are treated as data rather than executable command. This technique helps prevent SQL injection by separating the query structure from the data. For example, in PHP, with PDO, you can prepare a statement and apply parameters which ensure that the user inputs are safely handled like uh, this one. Input validation and sanitization. Implement a strong input validation and sanitization to uh, ensure that the inputs conform to executed formats, validate data types, length, and ranges, and reject any input that does not meet these criteria. Use built-in functions such as HTML special charts and filter var in PHP to sanitize input effectively. Least privilege principle. Apply the principle of least privilege to granting application account the minimum necessary data permission. Avoid using avoid using the database accounts with the administrative privilege for everyday operation. This minimizes the potential impact of a successful SQL injection attack by limiting the attacker's access to critical database functions. Stored procedure. Encapsulate and validate SQL logic using stored procedures, and this allows you to control and validate the inputs within the database itself. Reducing the risk of SQL injection ensures that stored procedures accept only validated inputs and are designed to handle the input sanitization internally. Regular security audits and code reviews. Conduct regular security audits and code reviews to identify and address vulnerabilities. Automated tools can help scan for SQL injection risks, but manual reviews are also essential to catch subtle issues. Regular audits ensure that your security practice stay up to date with evolving threats. Penetration tester. Exploiting database specific features. Different database management system DBMS have unique features and syntax. A penetration should understand the specifics of the target DBMS, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, MS SQL. To exploit this feature, for instance, MS SQL supports SP command shell command which can be used to execute the system commands, leveraging error message. Exploit verbose error message to gain insight into the database scheme and structure. Error databases involves provoking the application to generate error messages that reveal useful information. For example, using one and one is equal to convert int select can generate errors that leaks version information. Bypassing WAF and filters. Test various of location techniques to bypass the web application firewalls, WAF, and import filter. This includes using mixed case select, concentrate, alternate encoding, X, additionally using command line and different character encoding can help bypass the similar filter. Database fingerprinting. Database fingerprinting determines the type and version of the database to tailor the attack. This can be done by sending specific queries that use different results depending on the DPMS. For instance, select version work on PostgreSQL, which select version works on the SQL and MySQL. Pivoting with SQL injection. Use SQL injection to pivot and exploit other part of the network once the database server is compromised. It can be used to gain access to other internal systems. This might involve extracting credential or exploiting trust relation between them. Advanced SQL injection testing requires deep understanding of various techniques and abilities to adapt different environments. Penetration should employ various methods from exploiting database-specific features to bypass sophisticated filter to thoroughly assessing and exploiting SQL injection vulnerability, methodically documenting each step to ensure comprehensive. In this room, we have explored several advanced SQL injection techniques, including second-order SQL injection, out-of-bound SQLi, and filtered invasion. We also covered techniques like key injection, infrastructure device methods attacker used to exploit a web application. Our journey didn't stop at exploitation. We discussed the importance of uh, automation in identifying and exploiting SQL injection vulnerability and leveraging tools to streamline and enhance our testing progress. Understand these advanced technique is crucial for any penetration tester aiming to uncover and address complex security flaws. Additionally, we discussed various mitigation measures to safeguard application against these sophisticated attacks, emphasizing the need for robust effort. As a penetration tester, your role is to not only to find vulnerability, but also to understand the best practice for remediation and prevention. Armed with the knowledge of this room, you are better equipped to protect the web application and ensure they are against the evolving landscape of SQL injection threat. Let us know your thought on this room. Discord. SQL injection. I'll try this, right?
Make your move with Hostinger sale. For just 199 rupees a month, get managed hosting for WordPress and run it with the world.
What's up, everybody?
Sec. Let me put this on. That is really nasty.
What's up, Corey? Go. You're first. Burnt toast. What's up, burnt toast? My favorite.
You streamed, right?
Oh, tonight, week 5. Welcome back. Welcome back, me. I'm the one who's been delaying these. So it feels like forever. So week 5, we are back, and let's talk about the outline really quick. And thank you, SEH. I don't know how to say your name. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Quick announcements, maybe 5-10 minutes. Do a little catch up. Then we'll have our class, and then we'll do some Q&A. And I've got some fun things tonight. Actually, I think the class part of it's going to be pretty laid back. There were 20-something we're going to focus on here in a minute. But so I foresee this class. So tonight we'll be doing a giveaway as well. Let's talk about SQL injection. So these slides should look very... So either way, you do...
Is he doing that?
One does require us to be logged in.
He's doing in apology.
So the first challenge we're going to do, we're going to kind of go in order a little bit. The challenge says to order the Christmas special offer of
live bug bounty
reports. Nice. So if we click on this, of choice tonight, it's going to be Tumblr. Why Tumblr? It was the first one. So again, I'm attacking against a program that is in a public bug bounty that is fair game. If you come into For Hackers, you go into program directory. It was literally the first one when I went there earlier. Let's see if it's still the first one. It is. It's got 69 reports. Nice. So if we click on this, and I've got the Discord overlay off, you guys, you crazies. So anyway, if you go over this, it comes with the rules of engagement. Talks about testing. It's got their own SSRF server if you're going to do server-side request forgery. It's got some rules in here. So we're not going to get into any kind of hacking. We're going to, and you see they're a safe harbor program as well, so they're not going to initiate a lawsuit against a researcher in response to reporting a vulnerability if it fully complies with the policy. So don't search another party. Third party may take legal action, blah, blah, blah. Please submit a report before engaging. Conduct may be consistent. Okay, again, we're not going to be attacking them by any means. We're going to do enumeration. We're going to look at some items, see what we can find, and go from there. Now, they've got the different payout ranges. They've got what they're out of scope / bound back. You didn't see me on the report, but articles, right? See here. See that it's got the wildcard.tumblr.com, and they wildcard a lot of stuff. So this is really nice as well. Even APIs involved, so that's really good. What we can do is we can start just kind of enumerating this and go from there. So we'll start with sublister. So we'll just sublister on this domain. So sublister, we'll do a domain, and then we'll just do tumblr.com and see what comes back. Yeah, tumblr.com. I tuned my bird. Okay, so this is going to take a minute to run. On Twitter, some stickers. These stickers are the coolest fucking thing, by the way. I wish my stickers were this cool. So whoever did his design, fantastic. So search for, say something like sublister like this. So, and this is always dangerous because you never know what's going to show up in your Twitter feed. But you see here like sublister, and then if you scroll down, occasionally you run into like, you run into different items where people have made suggestions. Let's take a look at the latest. There was one that was going around. This one was really good. So this is one that I'm talking about, like where people give their suggestions. You see here, sublister, they sublister the domain. They do an nmap against the domain. They do a mass scan against the domain. This is not my methodology, but this is a methodology. So yes, this is not active scanning yet. We are, if you see what we're doing, we're just looking through different search engines or other areas for information. So this would be considered a passive scan. They've got a JSON file? Nice. They got a scope file down here. That's cool. About the valuable symbol here. So, so this will still take crt.sh if I can type in here. And we can wildcard the domain on Tumblr. Let's see if that pulls anything. Perhaps. A lot of stuff that came back. Look at all this junk. And the dates that associated with or logged at. So you know that these are pretty active. About these, these different here, we could start looking at anything that might be interesting. Honestly, like sort of login areas or any sort of dev. If you could find dev anywhere, or test or anything along those lines. I don't see a dev test. If they have like OA or Active Directory, which that's not even showing up. Embed, I don't think embed's going to be anything. We can check it. And our list just came back, which is good. Look at all this stuff. I should have put this to a file. Mistakes have been made. Mother of God. There's a little domain. Take advice from chat. So said curl-i-k https cert.sh and then the query of let's try it. It's just pulling down spaces. What are we missing? 2018. Okay. We were close. We're still pulling spaces. Now my control A is something different actually. I've a food bar that, but I can also take here. See this. Yep. Video games suck dick on Linux in 2019. Realest statement ever said in this chat. Hands down.
That was not good, man. I need someone doing this live. Well, that's it for now. Welcome.